Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to recap the latest and newest episode of Season 4 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The girls are here, the girls are clocked in, they're fabulous as ever. You guys, this episode was so good. This is exactly what we need. Let me start off by saying whoever edits The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City needs a raise. They need an Oscar. They need an Emmy. Give them all the awards because it is done so beautifully and cinematically in a way where the other franchises just look poorly edited near Salt Lake City. But anyways, you guys, let's get right into it. We have some things to discuss. And we officially open up the episode with a dramatic teaser of Heather calling someone up on her phone, trembling, not believing what she's hearing. Producers are storming into her room. I think this is somewhere on a trip, on an event. Heather's chasing producers out. She wants to be left alone. And then the ladies actually open up this season with psalms, with Bible verses. And they're all about betrayal. They're all about distrust. And it's very, very catchy. It was so deliciously good. We officially open up the episode with Miss Lisa Barlow prepping and organizing and hosting this Sundance thing in Salt Lake City that she has done for the last, I think, 10 or 15 years. She mentioned not even 5 minutes into the episodes, we're already crying with Miss Lisa Barlow because Lisa and John are driving around town and talking about their son, Jack. Jack is going to dedicate the next 2 years of his life to the Mormon mission. The Mormon mission is something that Mormons dedicate their time to Jesus Christ and basically to teach other people of Jesus Christ, I believe. Lisa's getting very emotional about it all because she's asking herself, was I a bad mother? Why hasn't he been open to us? Did we do something wrong? She's very real and raw and emotional. But you know, John is like, well, what were you doing at 17? You were out in college partying. Do not take it so personally. He's ready to, leave the nest and do his own. And the reasoning behind the not really, exposing it all from Jack to his parents is because he feels like John and Lisa are just different than he is, which is understandable. I think everybody that is going to compare themselves to their child that is, about to be a very young adult is going to have some difficulties with, I'll say vibing together. But I'm sure that Lisa was not a bad mom, and nor was John. We then see Miss Heather Gay. Heather Gay upgraded her home to a mega mansion, okay? She said 8,000 square foot, 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. Honey, cute little home where? She said, the last 20 years in that home, in the old house, she's had her divorce, she's raised her kids in it, she has had all the drama with her book, and this new chapter of her life is really dedicated to herself, and she really treated herself to a good mansion. I think I've never seen a prettier home in Salt Lake City to this date. So I'm going to give Heather her props. She's being joined by Meredith. They're shoveling a little bit of snow. And they are cozying up together to a glass of champagne and discussing the latest that is happening with Whitney. Whitney went to the press and talked about Meredith's bathtub, and this was, so petty, and we all know Meredith is a little bit more nose up there, but we still love her. She took it to heart. She definitely tends to hold a little of a grudge and is, discussing the whole thing with Heather about how Whitney is saying that, well, does she know how much bacteria holds a bathtub and whatnot and whatever? And this is exactly what we need. We need soft openings to the drama of a season. We can't go in all heavy because it's really going to take away the fun and it's going to drain. This was a perfect example for something lightweight to really soft launch the dispute for season 4 of, not of only Heather, Meredith, and Whitney, but in general. We then go to Meredith's shop. She has a cute little, window shopping situation going on. She's, I think, revealing or kind of organizing new jewelry pieces that she's putting in display. And then we see the highly awaited return of Mrs. Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby is back on our screens to grace us with her presence. Comedically, this woman in my head was written by the comedy gods of reality television, because there is no way she is putting up a front. She is just so funny on her own. And so she's catching up with Meredith. They're having a little luncheon. She's asking about, the dynamics and how everybody's going into this new situation without Jen, now that Jen Shah has been sentenced to a couple of years in prison, and Miss Shah is not going to be in the next at least 2 or 3 seasons of the show. And, Mary is exposing that she basically cut off everybody except Meredith, and that Meredith is the only one that she holds contact to. So I guess we'll get to that later when we are all at the group event. And then we see Miss Angie Katzenevas. And one thing about Angie, I did not like her when she first came into the show. I think she had a somewhat hectic, thirsty cloud over her. But I feel like now that she finally got her full-time snowflake, she is much more chill. She's much more relaxed and a little bit more, low-key, but still fun to watch. Miss Angie Katzenevas is meeting up with the newbie Monica Garcia, the new snowflake of Salt Lake City. And when I tell you, Miss Monica Garcia did not come here to play. In the first 2 minutes of this woman sitting down with the ladies, she is exposing it all in the confessional. I mean, she is, by the way, gorgeous. She's 38. She has 4 kids, I think. She's going through a divorce. And she is saying how, she barely knew Lisa, but now she's getting to know her. And Angie and Monica are going off of a broken friendship that they're trying to pick up ever since Jen has been imprisoned. And Miss Monica was actually the assistant of Jen, and she would, get all the inside scoop. And what she actually says is that Jen approached her and asked her, do you want to be rich? Do you want to make $600K a year? And so she says that she was weirded out from the start, but she really didn't think anything of it. She still was her assistant and whatnot because Jen had fired her prior assistant. And that's how she basically became a witness to the federal government of the case that is Jen Shah and her scam. I mean, the words with, do you want to become rich and want to earn $600K a year? it gives very much MLM, multi-level marketing scheme. I really wish and hope that Jen can redeem herself in prison, that she sits out her time and does something good and eventually comes back to Salt Lake City, because we've given Erica Jane, Teresa Giudice, and many more the opportunity to redeem themselves. I think it is only fair for Jen to maybe have a chance in the future, but that's a discussion that needs to be held in 4 to 5 years. Anyways, the luncheon is over. Monica is invited to Heather's, get together, and Heather is planning a fresh start event. She is wanting to, influence the spirit of a fresh start to the whole group, because she feels like they've been through it. They've been through the ringer, especially with the Jen situation of last year, with the imprisonment, with the social media things, the bad comments, the online bullying, and this is a perfect time to bury the hatchet and start off fresh. So everybody's attending this event: Monica, Lisa, Meredith, Whitney, Mary, and even another friend of Heather, which looks very housewifey. I think you guys will know once you see, or if you saw the episode, you'll know who I mean. It's the blonde woman with the pink snow glasses, and she's looking very extra. She's looking very good. I'm curious to see if they bring her on, because on the screen it said friend of Heather. Let me see if I can pull up her name. I don't know, but Mary H is her name. Yes, we have another Mary. Mary H is her name. It just flew into my mind. So Lisa did invite Angie and Monica to this event as their +1. Heather's not so thrilled about Angie attending, but she's like, well, I'm going to take this literally and really bury the hatchet with her as well, even though she spread the rumors that, they were doing Barbie scissor tricks with Jen allegedly last year when Heather got the black eye, which was a reach by Angie K, but still funny as, can you imagine Jen and Heather? So everybody's sitting down, everybody's having a conversation. Whitney and Meredith get into it, and they, are trying to resolve this whole, bathtub gate thing. I love how it's a bit of a cat and mouse relationship, but in the end, I think they do sort it out. And actually, Lisa and Meredith pulls Lisa aside because it's visible that Meredith misses Lisa's and her friendship, and even Lisa says that in her confessional. She was like, I would miss me too if I was Meredith. Classic Lisa Barlow. She is just iconic, top tier housewife all around. And it looks as if everything's going into a very positive start. They are discussing also Heather's book, and to everybody's surprise, or no one's surprise, nobody really did read the book, which I think is a bit shady. I mean, if you are going to support your friend, do it in the right way. But Heather even herself said, this group is not really the biggest book reading club, so that's okay. Then we have a conversation with Meredith and Whitney about, ketamine. Allegedly, Meredith thinks that Whitney said that she thinks that Meredith would do ketamine, but they get into it. They say, Whitney's saying that she would admit if she said that Meredith would do ketamine, but, I think those rumors are never going to leave Salt Lake City. They have been swirling around 4 years. So, not a surprise. Then we have, as the last step of the event, we have a huge snowball fight between everybody. Everybody's going at it. They're having fun. Yeah, it looks really lightweight. I mean, I can't say much more because it's just the first episode, but I did really enjoy it. It's a breath of fresh air, especially with all the things that have been going on Atlanta. It's good to see something different, and I really hope that Atlanta does get it together, and I will definitely talk about it all in my next Housewives Rant with G podcast episode. I think episode 10 finally. But yeah, back to Salt Lake City. So the episode basically ends with the teaser that we've all seen, that I have reacted to in detail on my channel as well. And it's officially the end of episode 1. We have to wait another week until the ladies do come back for episode 2. All in all, I think it was a great first episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really missed the Salt Lake City women. It was very fun to watch. Again, I'm excited to see what this shocking thing